Hey guys, Sean Fay-Wolfe of Diamond X Studios here, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. I have here with me my friend, Sarah,
Hello.
and we are basically have been talking for a little while about starting a little talk show podcast thingy where she tells me about some of the indie music that she's very passionate about, and yeah, we've been talking about this for a while, so yeah, what's this
Yeah.
going to do?
So I have a bit of a background in indie music, and I really, really enjoy it. And I've kind of always listened to indie music. There's a little bit of pop that I listen to every once in a while, but I wrote indie music for a while and was in like a little band where we did indie music. And yeah, I have so much that I've wanted to show Sean for so long, and like I don't know. I'm very excited to do that.
Yeah, it's like every time we're in the car driving somewhere, she'll pull up like a different piece of like
Yes.
just like some artist I've never heard of before, and it's just the well clearly runs pretty deep with her.
No,
So
we've got like 6,000 songs saved to my Spotify that I could spend hours going through.
yeah,
Not even hours, days probably.
yeah. And since my channel, obviously so far we've mostly just covered pop music, mostly stuff in the top 40, and I thought that this would be a good way to sort of give a little change of pace and have an avenue through which to discuss a broader spectrum of stuff. So, yeah, what are we doing in episode 1?
Well, so first I want to talk about like the term indie because I think people kind of use that term to mean different things, and sometimes it's used to mean that someone is independent and they don't work with a label and they're not signed, and sometimes it means that their genre is indie. And that whole idea of the indie genre came out of bands that weren't signed, and like they just tended to have a certain style. And
Yeah, it's like that the term indie genre is like
it's just
it's just
grown
from
out
what
of that.
from what independent artists tended to sound like.
Exactly, and it was exactly.
It's like we were
come
talking
out
about
of that.
before. Like technically, someone like Macklemore, he released his first album
Yes, yeah.
independently.
But he's not indie.
Right,
Yeah.
he is an artist who released
Yeah.
independently.
So typically, what we're talking about is the indie genre. But I am gonna try and mainly showcase people that are also independent and produce their own music and aren't signed by a label. Just because I find that to be really like amazing, and I think it's really cool that people do that.
Yeah, that's
And I know how hard it is personally. Like that is very, very hard to get popular when you don't have a label. You have no money backing you. You have nothing.
Yeah, you have you basically have to rough it for yourself. You don't really have much of an in into the
Yeah.
system. Which, granted, because of it's thankfully it's like there more avenues have opened up over the years. I feel because of
The internet.
yeah, because of internet and
absolutely.
Spotify and all this. I mean, we have the technology now where anybody can essentially produce their own music.
Yeah.
But just because anybody can, that's
Doesn't
like a
mean-
double-edged sword. That means that anybody can, but at the same time, you're competing with every other person.
Exactly. And
plus
you also
the
have
labels,
to think that
yeah.
like that type of technology has gotten better, but the technology that labels and big production companies has also gotten a lot better, and it's not accessible to the lay person. And like yes,
Right.
we can get a Focusrite Scarlett little interface and a Bluebird mic and sit there and make music, but it's a completely different thing when you're trying to actually sell that music. You can make something that sounds quality, but to not have that marketing behind you, to not have someone trying to get you on the radio, to be doing all of that yourself is very, very difficult.
Yeah, definitely.
And that would bring us into the first person we're going to talk about today, and I'm sure some people know who he is. But
Yeah.
Hobo
Just
Johnson.
heads up. Typically, when we do this, we're going to it's going to be an artist I haven't heard of, and she's going to
Yes.
surprise me with who it is. And this time, like I'm not familiar with Hobo Johnson's
But you
work.
did know who we were
We did
talking
know
about.
just because this
Yeah.
is the first episode we were discussing like all the
Yeah.
the stuff we wanted to do for the first time. Not even everything. Really, just Hobo Johnson is the only segment of this that I know
Yeah,
about.
you don't know
but-
the other ones at all, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So typically the way that we're going to do this is the first part is going to be, and I'd love to hear feedback and like see what everybody thinks afterwards, because I'm totally open to like moving segments around or changing them. But the first one's going to be like an indie spotlight on an artist that I think is really important, and that's going to be like the main one. And if we can get an interview with them or anything like that, we'll try. And then the next one's going to be like a really specific playlist. I have a bit of an obsession with making playlists that fit very specific vibes. So they'll just be like 4 or 5 song playlists that will link to you guys, and you can go and listen to them if you want to.
Yeah,
And then the last part will be like a weird or interesting story from music history.
Yeah, no, it sounds Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. All right.
I
So,
hope so, because you have to sit through it. So
yes,
I hope that you'd watch it.
That's true.
Okay, so the first person we're going to talk about is Hobo Johnson, and he right now is signed.
Do you know who he's signed to?
He is signed to Reprise Records.
Not familiar.
Yeah, it's not a big label, but he is signed and he's got money behind him now. But he started writing music when he was 15. He had a really, really tough childhood. His mom left when he was very young, and his father was an alcoholic. When he was 19, his dad kicked him out. He kind of had like some run-ins with the law that, I mean, nothing serious, but like, you know, he got in trouble and his dad kicked him out. So he moved to Sacramento. He originally lived outside of Sacramento with his family. He moves to Sacramento, gets a gym membership, and starts living in his car and like showering at the gym. And that's where
life.
Originally his name was Homeless Johnson, and then it became Hobo Johnson.
And that's literally how he got his stage name. Just the fact that
he lived in his car.
Literally, just the fact that he was living as a hobo and his last name was Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, if it fits,
I don't think his last name is Johnson.
It just had a nice ring to it.
Yeah, I don't think his name's Frank Lopez. His name is not Frank Johnson. Yeah. But
Hobo Lopez would have been a decent name.
I don't know. I like Hobo Johnson.
No, Hobo Johnson has a nice ring to it. But I'm just saying, if like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool.
But so he starts working at a pizza place and trying to like live on his own at 19, which like that's tough. Like to completely be out on your own in the middle of Sacramento at 19. That's a hard thing to do. There are not many people that do that. And on top of that, he ends up recording his first album from his car. So all he's got is like a Scarlett like 212 or 2i2 interface and like one mic, and he's doing it all himself. And he ends up starting this band, and they start playing open mics and performing like on the street and selling this first album he made in his car. And he used that to start paying rent, and he actually moves into this place, and his rent was $30 a month.
Wow.
It's like a real shitty place.
What the hell I was about to say, what the hell place in Sacramento, where can you get an apartment for $30 a month? It's like...
I don't even want to know. I've lived in some like really, really not
seedy
nice
joints,
places.
but like...
and even then they still cost more than $30.
Most places do, but...
Yeah, so his rent was $30. I don't know if it was that he was like living with a friend or something, and like, I don't know. But it takes him 4 years to start gaining traction, all from just like playing open mics and all that. And then he starts winning awards in Sacramento for like musician stuff. What did he win? He won. I had it somewhere. I don't know. But so then do you know what the Tiny Desk contest is?
No, it's not.
Do you know what Tiny Desk is?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So NPR has this whole thing that's run by this guy named Bob Boylan. And he created this thing called All Songs Considered. And it was basically, he wanted to make a platform for indie artists to get traction and to start like gaining followers and people that would listen to them. Okay. So he creates this thing called All Songs Considered, and what he creates under that is like a blog where he posts about indie artists, and also a thing called the Tiny Desk concert. And
I think I might have actually heard this thinking back. I don't remember if it was this exactly, but this...
It's pretty popular,
like, yeah, no, because my brother was, he was in a band, and they were, working on some stuff, and they submitted something to something. I don't remember the name of it, but it was something it was either this or something similar to this.
Yeah, I'm sure. So the Tiny Desk concert is basically in the middle of the NPR offices. They have this little, like, small desk area with, like, these, like, books behind it and a bookshelf, and they bring artists in that are, somewhat indie. They've had like Tyler the Creator on there, but originally it was meant for indie artists. And they bring them on and record like high quality audio and footage and post it to YouTube and try to get them some
traction,
exposure. Yeah. And then in 2018, Bob Boylan came up with this thing called Tiny Desk Contest, and the idea was that you would post a video of you performing your song live, and he was going to pick one of those bands to play a Tiny Desk concert. So Frank Lopez or Hobo Johnson and his band submit to it, and they end up...
What was his band called?
The Hobo Johnson and the Lovemakers. But typically he's referred to as just Hobo Johnson because like he's the main like thing.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy. So he wins like 4 awards in the Sacramento area, and that gives them like enough like confidence to submit to this this contest. And they submit to the contest. They end up not winning. But Bob Boilen, first of all, the video, I'm going to show it to you. The video that they posted went viral, like immediately went viral. And that was how I ultimately found him, because originally he was just, people knew him in the Sacramento area. No one knew him anywhere else.
Yeah, I have not seen this video yet, but like we went to see some friends yesterday and she was like talking up this video. So
no, that's Decca. That's another artist we're going to talk about.
No, but you told me that he made really amazing videos.
He does too, but the guy that I was showing Jackie yesterday, that's the guy that I want to interview.
Okay.
That's someone else.
Yeah, we're trying to get some interviews lined up in the future. This is the conversation that happens when Sean doesn't know exactly who we're talking about.
You'll see.
Yeah, we'll do it.
So basically, Bob Boilen sees that this video went viral, and they're not the ones that win the contest, but Bob Boilen is so impressed by this video and by their whole like atmosphere that he lets them play a Tiny Desk concert anyway.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So they bent the rules for him.
Basically, yeah. Basically. Okay. And the whole thing with like when this video got released, the whole song is basically about like unrequited love and like a girl that he's interested that's dating someone else. And the internet, when this video went viral, it was half people like being obsessed with this song, and the other half of like the people were calling him an incel and saying that like he was like sexist and like all this stuff. And it was so what's the word? I don't know. It was so uncalled for. Like, there was no reason to act like that's what he was doing. Like, it was just a song about unrequited love. Like, he just likes a girl. Like, it's not...
I mean, I feel like that's the kind of thing that happens when something goes viral and gets that kind of attention.
Well, and that's
especially something with a subject, like, as touchy as that. Which, it's not a subject that you necessarily have to, like, dance around, per se. But it's the kind of thing where I can see, especially... Like, when was this?
This was in 2018.
2018? Yeah, no, especially these past few years, I could definitely see people being, like, hypersensitive to something like that.
Truthfully, that's what fed the fuel of, like, getting this to go viral, is because some people would be like, oh my god, this is so good, and then they would share it, and other people would be like, oh my god, this guy's an incel, and then they would share it, and then, like, it fed the fire.
I mean, hey, all press is good press. And
exactly, and that's how they ended up getting, like, famous in the first place. So after that, they end up getting signed to this label, Reprise Records, and I've watched some interviews of him afterwards, and like he talks a lot about how he's really not into the whole like being on tour thing, and it's kind of weird to him. He feels like a product. He says that he goes back home a lot to like try and regain like a sense of normalcy and like see people that like he grew up with and like feel normal, because
he's just a dude who wants to make music.
He rose to fame so quickly.
From such a low starting point.
I mean, he literally went from like paying $30 rent in Sacramento to being signed to a label and having like more money than he knows what to do with at that age, like in a matter of weeks.
That's like such a, like, I can't imagine that level of like whiplash.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to, like, do something. Like, that has to have, like, an effect on your brain.
There's a whole interview where he talks about it, and it's actually very interesting. And I know, like, a lot of famous people do talk about that, but I don't know. I feel a weird connection to him. Like, I feel like he's, like, a real person. He feels very real, and, like, that's one of the big things he talks about is, like, making sure that he doesn't get too outside of the real world so that he can still write the type of music that he wants to write, because if you get too in your head about being like a pop star and like being amazing, you can't write that like honest music anymore.
Oh yeah, no, literally all I do on my channel is talk about people who, I mean, this is a generalization, obviously there are exceptions to this, but so many people in the world of pop music are either they are a product that has been, you know, the result of, you know, dozens of people manufacturing essentially a brand, or they're someone who is trying to recapture that, they're trying to recapture that sense of normalcy, but
after they don't have it.
Right. Yeah. It's like, you have someone like, I don't know if I want to name specific examples, but even like even the people who like.
Well, like I think about like Taylor Swift with that. Like Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
is
that
one
was
of
the
those
name.
people,
That was the name I was thinking of. Like, or like Ed Sheeran, like the folk singer type of pop stars.
You're not. You're not that anymore. Like you're not. You have to accept that. And like I feel like Taylor Swift has stayed pretty humble, and I like her as a person. I think she's a great person. But to pretend that you're this like high school like cute little like girl next door, that's not what you are.
Yeah,
like,
she hasn't.
You are an insanely attractive, successful woman. Don't sit here and pretend like when she did that video. Oh, what video is that where she has like braces on and like pigtails and like? You know what I'm talking about.
You belong with me.
Yes,
and that was like back relatively early in her career. That was what 2008, 9, I think it was.
It's just that whole girl next door vibe doesn't work anymore, and I'm glad that she started transitioning into the more like, I don't know, sophisticated, like Red was good. Like, I really liked Red because it was like, she was honest about it. Like, she was like, this is what I am now.
Yeah, like, I am a pop star now.
Yeah, and that's fine. If that's what you are, that's fine.
I'm still a pop star who, like, wants to be this every girl, but, like,
But you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like, I feel like we could... Literally, we could probably do an entire separate podcast about Taylor Swift's career arc because it's one of the most fascinating musical journeys of the 2010s in my mind.
All right, I want to show you some music. Let's do that.
All right.
All right. So what we're gonna listen to first is the live version of Peach Scone, which is the song that they submitted to the NPR Tiny Desk contest.
The incel one.
The incel one, yeah. Well, people actually call a lot of his music that. But it's just because he's got that vibe of like the. We'll get into it when we go.
Yeah, I'm sure that once I hear it, I'll get the I'll get the impression, or I'll at least be able to see where that conversation came from.
So this beginning part when he's talking, I find hilarious. He's talking to Bob Boilen, the creator of All Songs Considered, and he says like, "What's up, Bob?" And then he makes a joke about how. You'll see. Yeah. I'm just gonna play it.
Let's do it.
And if you guys want to watch along or listen along, it's called Peach Scone by Hobo Johnson and the Lovemakers, and it's the live version for the NPR Tiny Desk contest.
All right.
We can link it in the description too.
Yeah, we can do. Sorry, but good. Oh no! What up, Bob? God, man, we're Hobo Johnson Lovemakers. We're a couple kids, 5, I guess, that like to make a little bit of love, like to make a little bit of music. Look at that. That's a desk. Just kidding, Bob. It's a table. I don't care about rules. Hi, what's your name? How are you? How's your life? Oh, you got a man. Are you in love? If so, a type. Is it just platonic, strictly just as friends, or the type that ties you two together till tomorrow's end? If it is, disregard every time I call you pretty. Though it's meant sincerely, it's just my imagination drifting. Brush me off like the dirt on Jay-Z's shoulder, so I fall to ground, collect myself, and get ready to take over your heart. Or at least your spare time.
Yeah.
And I love the thought of being with you. Or maybe it's the thought of not being so alone. The second one's way sadder than the first one, but I don't know. I love the thought of being with you. Or maybe it's the thought of not being so alone. Man, I really love being loved, but I also really love not crying on the. We should go get a cup of coffee, and I'll act friendly. And I won't pull any stunts, but I'm a freaking stunt puller from birth. So I don't know what to tell you if I try to confess my love for scones. I just want to tell you real quick, please.
Scones.
I love these scones. Just a diversity between the selection, the raspberry, the blueberry, the strawberry, pumpkin, even, which is basically a fucking squash. How you gonna make a scone out of a freaking squash? It blows my mind. Oh,
dude, this guy's asking the big question. He is on it. He is like,
so sorry.
He is on it. He's asking the
your
big
boyfriend made
questions.
you mad the other day. What was he saying? What was he talking about? Oh my God, that's crazy. What do I think? Let me think about it.
This is where he was paying $30 to live.
What?
I think this is where he was paying.
But I'm sure he's gonna turn around at some point. And
yeah, I could see that being a $30 place.
I love the thought of being with you. Or maybe it's the thought of not being so alone. Man, I really love being loved, but also really love not crying on the phone. Man, I love the thought of being with you. Or maybe it's the thought of not being so alone. I don't know. The second one's way
So this is the
sadder
live
than the
version?
first one, but I don't know.
Doesn't it sound really good?
Yeah.
This is all
What's up?
recorded, like...
Yeah, what's going on? Oh yeah, she told me a lot about you. Yeah, It's so great that you're doing all of those things. You should keep doing all of them, I think. Oh yeah, my name's Hobo Johnson. I'm a rapper. I'm actually not a rapper. I like to say I'm a musician. I play guitar sometimes too, just not as good as Derek. It doesn't matter, but she is like the nicest person I've ever met in my whole life, and I'm sure you know because you sleep next to her every night, and you guys just probably cuddle and kiss or whatever. But she, she's just so sweet, and she cared about me a lot when no one else cared about me, and I think that's really nice. She's just a peach. She's a peach. Scone. She's a peach scone, Bob. And I love the thought of being with her. I just really hope that she doesn't get hurt, man. They say it takes 2 years to come back down to earth from that lovely place that you've been. I heard it's so nice. Good for you. I'm glad. And if you find someone that really loves you for who you are, keep being with them, man. Because that's what matters in this life, Bob. Thank you.
All right.
I feel like I just transcended somewhere.
Right?
I don't know where I transcended
The first
to.
time I heard this song, I was like, oh my god, this is so good. I couldn't stop playing it. Like,
I've never heard anything remotely like that.
yeah, I know.
It seems like such an obvious idea. It's literally just setting a dude rambling to music, but it's not. It like strikes a perfect balance between. It's random and rambly, but at the same time,
but it feels honest because of that. It feels so sincere.
And not just that. It doesn't just come off as someone just like unhinged. It's like there's a control about it in that it's weird in that it fits with the music. The music is like so tight and controlled and simple, and then you just have this dude rambling over it, and
he's a genius, man. Like, he's a straight up genius.
Yeah,
and
I can see what, like, I don't agree, but I can see where the incel argument comes from. But at the same time, like, here's the thing: if I were to read these lyrics, then maybe I could see that. But actually,
it's like he comes off as if he's having fun. It's not like angry.
Right?
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
It's like. It's like, even when he's yelling, like, at the top of his lungs, like, I want to be with you! It's like, it's not, but there's no malice there. There's no, there's no actual bitterness. It's just, and I feel
innocent.
like.
It feels innocent.
Yeah, it feels like he's voicing genuine frustration, but with no bitterness there. Like, it's just.
Well, and like he says, like, where is it? He says,
what's the line?
I love the thought of being with her. I just really hope that she doesn't get hurt, man. They say it takes 2 years to come back down to earth from that lovely place that you've been. I've heard it's so nice. Good for you. I'm glad. And if you find someone who really loves you for who you are, keep being with them, man, because that's what matters in this life. Like, that's not what an incel would say.
Right.
An incel wouldn't be like, oh, like, if they really love each other, they should be together.
Yeah. I almost feel like that, that song, like, It Wasn't Me, like...
Oh, Shaggy?
Yeah, it's like literally he goes on, like spends the entire song going on and on about like what an awful piece of shit he is. And then the last verse, he's just like, you're an idiot, dude. I'm not going to be like, and I'm not saying it's like that because he doesn't come across as like a piece of shit. He comes across as like.
It's like he's wrapping it up and saying like, look, I'm not an incel. Like,
right,
I do hope she's happy.
It's like, look, I'm on your level, man. I'm not going to like.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, and even then, like, when he's ranting about that and the, and, like, what was the line up there? Just all the thing where he's just, like, coming on to, he's doing the whole, like, oh, I would treat you well if you were with me routine.
The line that I think really comes off a little bit as incel-y is when he says, where is it? If it is, disregard every time I call you pretty, though it's meant sincerely, it's just my imagination drifting. Brush me off like the dirt on Jay-Z's shoulders. So I fall to ground, collect myself, and get ready to take over your heart, or at least your spare time. That comes off as a little incel-y. I get what people are saying.
Right. I can see where that would rub someone the wrong way, but
to me, it's only that verse.
Yeah, and even that verse, like, again, it's the kind of thing where if you like when you read it out like that, like yeah, it sounds really bad.
But when he does it,
but when you, it's like yeah, he has this way of just like I don't know. Maybe it's just because we were watching the video and we could see his face and we could see
you
that
could
he
tell
was.
that he's having
You could
fun.
see, yeah, you could tell it was clearly like he was riding his own wave. I guess is the best way to put it.
All right, let's move on to the next one because we are like 30 minutes in already.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So what's the next one?
The next one is called Romeo and Juliet. This one really is emotional for children of divorced parents.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that'll be
a
interesting.
tough one to watch. This music video is a little interesting because he's singing about his ex and about how his parents got divorced and how he like doesn't believe in love anymore. And there are parts that like he was gonna use like voicemails from her and stuff, and he interjects in the video and like talks about like how she wouldn't let him and stuff. So the music does cut out a little bit, but I think the music video is a cool thing to watch.
All right. So is the music video is not the full. What we're hearing in the music video is not the song as like the studio version, but it is like
It is the studio version. He just dips out the music and like talks for a minute. You'll see. He just cuts away and like talks about like what he wanted this video to be and how she like didn't let him use certain stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious. Is like when he cuts in, is that part of the actual song, or is that just an aesthetic choice for the video?
It's a choice for the video.
Okay.
But the music that's playing is the studio version. He just cuts in and they edited it and like lowered
Okay.
the
So
music.
it's yeah. I've seen people do that before. Okay.
You'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll
as soon as
understand
you
it
see
once
it.
I.
Yeah.
Oh my god, 100K likes on 3 million views.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a ratio.
All right.
All right.
Is the volume good for you? Was
Yeah,
that
no, the
good
volume's
before?
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just get.
All
All
right.
right. Ready?
Yeah, we currently are trying to listen to 2 asynchronous things since we're planning on syncing up the headphones. That kind of fell through. Hopefully, in the future, we'll have a headphone splitter to make this go a bit more smoothly. But
Yeah.
for
even
now,
then,
this
though, we'll talk about it later.
yeah,
I have a
we'll
whole
figure
thing
that
about
out.
Oh, that's my shit right there. That's the ticket. Give me the ticket. Give it to me, baby. You know it. I'm too emotional. Good luck to my future wives and their future lives without me. You guys will do great. I'm sure that I've prepared you for every guy you'll date and every guy you'll marry and every guy you'll hate. It's the lullabies I sang out of tune. That's probably what did it. Or my twin size mattress that I had since I was 7 that we have to sleep on whenever she spends the night. And if she falls off again, she'll find another guy to like, which is Romeo and Juliet. But getting drunk and eating Percocets, but just to ease the stress. But soft with light, the under window breaks. It is the east, but Juliet just puked off the balcony. How romantic. Nothing like getting drunk and getting manic on a motherfucking Monday. I brush the bangs behind her lovely little ear as she describes in detail how the end is truly near. Wow. And I'm sure that we could do this for forever or until we drink the poison, cause she sees some cloudy weather as Rosaline lies in bed seething wide awake because a burning love for Juliet only took a day. And if Romeo and Juliet continue to be married, then there's half of a chance that their kids will get embarrassed when all the kids at school all talk about their parents. And Romeo Jr. has to say they're not together. And Junior will dream of the day when he's a man and what he'll do to avoid that 50% chance of his kids feeling the way he feels. So he'll probably just stick with the Netflix and chill. Dear Shakespeare.
This scene was supposed to be right here. Is supposed to be a scene where I play a voicemail that she made for me.
And every sting from every teardrop, from every ring at every pawn shop. I'm not missing both my Christmases. The family would be nice. In my dreams, my kids are happy, and I know that they won't mind. One Christmas.
And this one was supposed to be a poem that she wrote, but then she told me not to put it in. She told me not to put it in.
Conversations from a couch haven't ever felt the same.
In the studio version,
Since you
this
looked
does
Dad
have
in
music
the eye,
behind it.
and you told
but-
him that things
Yeah.
are about to change. My mom was made from Adam's rib. And the marriage went south when the snake came back and asked my mother out to dinner. And my dad found out and asked my mom what that's about. And she said, oh, it's nothing. But Dad loves to shout really loud. Loud enough to knock the lamps and dressers to the ground. In my memory, I could hear Chopin's nocturnes playing in the background. A slow train wreck. You close your eyes, but forever hear the sound. And boy, it's tough, 'cause that's the sound of people falling out of love.
So you said in the studio version of that they have the instrumentals over that ending.
Yeah, but he still kind of like talks it. He doesn't really rap it. The way he
it's
does
just-
with the rest of it.
It's just because I don't know how you could make that more powerful by putting music under. It's the thing.
I don't. That's why I think in the video he took it out, because it's more powerful that way.
It's not just that. It's literally like you hear, and it's not just that he's talking with no music. It's that you can hear
The
like the little,
emotion.
like not just even the emotion, just the little bit of static fuzz in the background, the exhale of him blowing the smoke out. It's just like,
Dude, this song like literally chills. That song gives me actual chills. Like,
yeah, no, that was like,
growing up like with how my parents are, and like constantly having this fear of like, is it even possible to love? I've never seen anyone in a healthy relationship. Like, is this real, or is it just the I've had so many conversations with you about how the only two ideas most of us have grown up with about love is rom-coms and unhealthy relationships that we've seen all around us our entire lives. I don't know.
it's so
one,
hard to find like someone
I've
who's
never
got
seen
it
a
right.
marriage
Yeah,
that's happy ever, and that's really sad. And I'm sure they're out there. but,
right. No,
like,
that's the thing. It's like
they exist, but that the past generation had a very, very, for some reason, like the last generation, like our parents' generation, had a lot of divorces and a lot of like marital problems in general. And I'm not fully sure why, but a lot of us are dealing
just
with
as
that.
a generation where it's like,
Yeah.
even if your parents like aren't split and you are our age. No, even if your parents aren't split when you're our age, like we know so
I've
many
never
people.
seen my parents hug. I've never seen my parents kiss. I've never seen them even touch each other, to be honest. And
yeah, it's,
ever. Like,
yeah, like love is just such like it's a concept that is so difficult to it's difficult to like attain, but like especially for portrayals in media, music included,
Yes.
like true actual genuine love is like so
fleeting.
it's not just fleeting, it's when you consider how hard it is to find in real life and then realize how few of the people that you see in real life are going to have the capacity to
Make it last. And
not just make it last, but to capture it in music.
Mhm.
Then when you see when you find music that is truly captures like a sense of love, that is something.
Yeah, well, and I think like
Really
the thing I really
special,
like about
honestly.
this song is that it validated me in that feeling of like, you know, what if it's not possible to have that? You know, like there's one line where he says, on my twin size mattress that I had since I was 7 that we have to sleep on whenever she spends the night, and if she falls off again, she'll find another guy to like. And like that's something that's been in my head for so long, that like if one thing goes wrong, it means that like this person's gonna leave me, or you know, that we're not meant to be together, and that love isn't even worth it, and I should just be alone and focus on my career, because even if people do end up getting married and finding someone that they want to marry, they never end up being happy in the
It's
long
just a
run.
cohabitation
Yeah, and like
for so many people. Yeah.
yeah, and there's another, hold on. There's another one right here.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite lines that he's ever written. Every sting from every teardrop from every ring at every pawn shop. That is like, I love that line so much.
Like, yeah, no, it's just so hard, like, seeing, yeah, it's just so hard seeing all of these symbols that are supposed to represent these grand ideas that people, like, these are ideas that people have built monuments to in all these different regards, but, like, when you see them, it almost seems more like some sort, like, it seems more and more like fantasy if it's something that you're not familiar with intimately, but then you see these symbols everywhere, like the rings in the pawn shops and things like that.
Well, and it's like I've had one experience my entire life where I saw a happy marriage, and it was like some dude I was dating, his parents were like so in love, it was crazy, and they'd been together forever, and like they would get in the car and like they'd be driving, and they've been together for like 30 years, and they would hold hands while they were driving and like giggle and like kiss each other's hands, and like it was so cute. And like that's I think that's what we all want. But, like, we all want it so badly that we jump into these relationships and, like...
If it doesn't fulfill that expectation, then...
Yeah, it's, like, crushing.
Right.
And I don't know.
I feel like
that... that there's something that describes that for me. Because I've always felt so alone in that. And I've realized it's our whole generation.
Yeah, and everyone always says our generation is like, oh, we're the Tinder generation. We're, like, you know, swipe left, you know, love is just something, like, that you... is, like, you know, one night stand is your... But I feel like
I'm
there's...
a hopeless romantic. I love so much.
No, and I'm on the same page, and I'm just like, I don't feel like it's just like, I don't feel like you and me are outliers in that regard. I feel like there's just this unspoken generational longing, because like, even if...
We all grew up with unhappy parents.
Right, and
We weren't shown what a marriage is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to get married.
Not like what it could be.
Yeah, like I feel like
you don't even have to call it marriage, just a partnership.
Yeah.
Like whatever you want to call it.
I don't necessarily want to get married, but I want someone to spend my life with. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like there is that like hopeless romantic part of me.
Right, and it's just and bringing it back to the song, I feel like the song just so captures that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to put into words what exactly it captures, but just that sense of. I feel like it captures more than just his personal heartbreaking longing. I feel like it captures that generational longing that I just mentioned right there. And that's like...
And he knows it too. Like, he knows that this is, like, referencing this for everybody. Like, he says...
And it's like he knows how to speak the language.
Yeah.
It's... Oh
he's
my
a
god.
Genius.
No, it was so... No, that's so cool. Like, I can't believe I've never... Like, I've heard the name Hobo Johnson before. I don't remember where exactly. Yeah. But I've never actually listened to him before just now. But, like, this is, like... This is incredible. Like,
I know.
Goddamn.
Okay, so I'm going to show you... I've never listened to the live version of this one, to be honest with you. This is the NPR desk concert that they were on in 2018 when Bob Boilen put them on. Okay. So they did the Peach Scone one. Bob Boilen was like, you didn't win the contest, but we want you anyway. This is from that.
Okay.
This is probably, like, the most emotional song for me. This one, like, really gets me.
More emotional than the last one?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I can never say this completely correctly, but the song's called Crevi Coir 1. I don't exactly know how to spell it, or to pronounce it, but...
Friggin'
it's
Portuguese.
French. It's Portuguese?
I don't know.
Oh, I think it's French.
I'm literally just like first foreign language that pops into my mind.
Oh, you know what? It's a city in Missouri outside of St. Louis.
Okay, so it is French. Legend has it that an Indian princess fell in love with a French fur trapper, but the love was not returned.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
According to the story, she then jumped from a ledge overlooking Crevecoeur Lake. The lake then formed itself into a broken heart. The phrase also means broken heart in French. It is likely one of the...
That's probably why he titled it that. That's really cool. I didn't know that.
That is... Lyrics Genius is an amazing site.
It is. I love Genius.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's an invaluable resource for getting all this, for making these.
Alrighty. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll link it in the description.
Yeah.
So you can
we're going to link everything that we talk about. Will be linked in the description below.
We got one more song. It's called Crevecoeur.
That is a tiny desk.
Very much.
Crevecoeur. That's what he...
Crevecoeur.
Okay, that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, they just do it in the NPR offices.
It's a beautiful melody.
I prefer the studio version, but I want you to see his face.
Says the girl with the riot eyes that pairs pretty well. When she hits you with the soft smile, you can kind of tell that something's going on, but she's like a Skrillex song that never drops. She'll never talk about the feelings that she felt today. better kept inside of a fence, inside of a cage, inside of a safe. That's safe for her, cause they just hurt, and she don't know why. That God's on dirt, I hope he's trying. She said, Frank, you think he's trying? God, you fucking big ghost. And I said, I don't know. But I asked her, what's wrong? And she nods her head and she doesn't say anything, and that makes a whole lot of sense. And I asked her, what's wrong? And she said, hey, he was the picture perfect person, loved my mother oh so dearly. You could feel the love reverberate whenever in our building. If it feel the same today, I wish I know. But you know, sometimes you drive a car and lose control into poles and hold me closely. I don't think you should love me, cause I always feel so lonely knowing that nothing will ever last forever. Sorry, Frank, you're much too late. And hi, says the girl who doesn't have time for relationship advice, rather relationships at all. She holds her breath all day and she fucking gasps for air at night. She promised she would love me, but only till the morning time. And the more that I engage in it, the more that I am mortified that I'm like every other shitty guy. And then bye, says the girl who doesn't have time for relationship advice, rather relationships at all. And I asked her, what's wrong? Classic, nods her head, doesn't say anything. And I asked her, what's wrong? And she said, yeah, he was a bummy, crusty, cruddy father, fucking every girl he takes to coffee, cause he lied to mom in holy matrimony. Hold me closely, I don't think you should love me, cause I always feel so lonely knowing that nothing will ever last forever. Sorry, Frank, you're much too late. Sorry, Frank, you're much too late. Thank you.
That song literally gives me chills over and over and over again. Heavy, right? Dude, this line when he this.
I don't know if you know how rare it is for like a song to literally like. It's not often that I hear a song and it immediately hits me with such force. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm.
This
how
line
do you, like,
when he says, she holds her breath all day and fucking gasps for air at night. That like. I cannot tell you, like, my entire childhood and, like, growing up and, like, being a teenager, that's what that shit was, is, like, me being, like, all day, and then at night I'm, like, fucking freaking out. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be cursing.
Fuck it. Oh, my God. But, no, it's just...
That line, and then she promised she would love me, but only till the morning time. The more that I engage in it, the more that I'm mortified that I'm like every other shitty guy. There
are so many lines in that like...
He lied to mom in holy matrimony. Hold me closely. I don't think you should love me. I always feel so lonely knowing that nothing will ever last forever. Like, that relates to the Romeo and Juliet song, too, of, like, I don't think you should love me because I'm terrified that nothing lasts forever, and like this is stupid, and like what's even the point? I'm gonna get my heart broken no matter what. Yeah, we're just gonna end up hurting each other, and we're gonna feel and like literally just the way he pronounced "you're much too late" over and over like Dude, that, like literally like I get chills. From this song. I see it like actual goosebumps. No, there were like literally like my eyes welled up a little bit at that. Yeah. I don't know if you could see on camera, but no, and like the only reason I'm not crying is because I've listened. You've heard it so many times. But, like, this song, when I'm, like, in a bad mood, like, I'll put this shit on in my car and, like, scream it. Because I relate to it so much. No, that is, like, visceral. Like, he's reaching into you and, like, grabbing your pulp. Yeah. Like, also, like, it's not just, like, the screaming helps the delivery, but, like, the lines themselves, like, there are those ones. The fine, like, she's like a Skrillex song that never drops. That is such a fantastic metaphor. Yeah. For oh my God, and like, it's so quirky. Like I love it. I love it. Right? No, it's like just the perfect level of quirky without being too
alienating to any, because everyone knows like what Skrillex drop sounds like. But
yeah, I love this line too. You could feel the love reverberate whenever in our building. That's like such a beautiful line, and I don't know why. Like just the like the idea of love reverberating.
Having like a tangible presence enough that it can
reverberate.
That
Like
it can
I said.
inhabit a space purely based on what it is. Like, oh.
It's just such a good song, man.
No, I'm just like,
there's
oh
nothing
my.
I can even like say about it. Like,
Yeah, it's like it's
just
so self-evident in its like I you showed me the first one. I thought it was gonna be fun after that.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's all emotional. Welcome
No,
to indie music.
I
It's
know,
all
but like
sad.
this is like this is really sad though. I'm sad now.
See, this is what got me into indie music though, is that like it was cathartic for me. Like to have this feeling, it was this idea that like I had these emotions growing up that I just like didn't understand, and like I felt so alone in them, and like I was anxious all the time and worried that like my life wasn't going to work out and I was never going to meet somebody that like really cared about me, and everyone was just going to hurt me all the time, and like something about finding other people who felt the same way and were expressing it through music. And like honestly, like guitar is what got me out of like my first bout of depression when I was younger. Like learning how to play guitar took me out of that. I don't know where it would be if I hadn't done that. But then having all these artists that understood me on this like deep level like that, you know, it made me feel not alone. It made me feel like someone else got it.
Yeah, no, and again, that's the kind of thing where like I feel like it goes without saying, but you simply would not get something like that in pop music most of the time, at least not today, because the entire point of pop music is like to create something that's going to appeal to the widest demographic possible, which inherently means not taking risks, stick to the tried and true formula. And it's not that people never take risks. Like you have people like
but it's not the like the norm to do.
Yeah,
that.
like every once in a while you get someone like Billie Eilish who like pushes the envelope of what what the mainstream public is willing to accept in terms of music. But so much of the time it's just like just hearing just literally just his way of delivery, which he's done like in every that's so.
I'm excited for you to see this one. Let's do another one. This is the live version of February 15th, Alone Forever.
It's a fun title.
This song he didn't release.
Oh fuck, that's the day after Valentine's Day, isn't it? God fuck.
Yeah, or is that Valentine's Day?
No, Valentine's Day is the
after
14th.
Valentine's
Yeah.
Day? Yeah. So, hold on one second. So this was published on YouTube, and it was not available, like, he didn't release it with an album. So his first album was called The Rise of Hobo Johnson, and his new album that just came out a few months ago is called The Fall of Hobo Johnson. I haven't played you anything from the new album, actually, because...
Is it very different stylistically?
It's not very different. It's good. It's just that it's not as raw, because he's in like a better place in his life now, and it's still really good.
No, that's good.
But they're fun songs, and like I would still recommend that like you go listen to them. But I wanted you to understand like where he was coming from with them, because they make more sense when you go and listen to them. Like he has one song in the new album called Subaru Crosstrek, I think, and it's about him buying like his first new car, and it's like not a fancy car. But when you know his backstory and you know all the stuff he's been through and you know he used to live in his car, it's such a moving song, because it's like this Subaru Crosstrek means a lot to him, and to other people it's just a funny song where he's like, I just bought a Subaru Crosstrek. But to us it's like, oh, like,
to us,
the
elite, educated listeners of the world of indie music. No, I get what you're saying though. To the people who are familiar with it, like, yeah.
It means something completely different. So I wanted you to understand that before you ever listen to the new one. Because the new one just... And that's why he called it The Fall of Hobo Johnson, because he knows that it's like... It's different than his first album. The first album was like so raw and so him, and
that's what broke him. And that's what broke him through was the fact that he had all that like viscera to what's the word I'm looking for? Tap into.
Yeah. There you go.
And now that he's... Yeah, it's very interesting. No, he seems like a fascinating guy. Just
he
like
absolutely is.
I mean, anyone who makes music like that clearly has clearly has a lot behind the eyes. But
The butterflies in my stomach have died. Now there's lowly caterpillars that are waiting for the night even dying to escape. The pit of my stomach's a real dark fucking place. My new friends are starting to know. Well, my old ones don't talk to me anymore. My ex knows why my last one was my last one. Hey, guess why? It's 'cause my fucking actions. I'm gonna feel alone forever. I'm gonna feel alone forever, but I'm getting used to the thought, except late at night, so maybe I'm not. I'm gonna feel alone forever. I'm gonna feel alone forever, but I'm getting used to the thought, except she went to Columbia and I went to jail. I just wanted another apple when she really wanted Yale. And that is the problem where all of this lies. I'm emotionally unstable, crazy fucking guy who's gonna feel alone forever. I'm gonna feel alone forever, but I'm getting used to the thought. And in a couple years, I really hope that this stops. I'm gonna feel alone forever. I'm gonna feel alone forever, but I'm getting used to the thought. And in a couple years, I fucking hope that this stops.
That, like, I need to go back for a second. That look he has at the end, when he says, like, the last line.
In a couple years, I fucking hope that this stops.
Like, the pain.
No, yeah, it's like you could...
Oh my god, dude.
Everything about that, like, I don't know if this is true, but everything about that strayed, like, I am, like, my insides are dying, and the only way that I can bring them to life again is just by setting up my camera and belting out a song.
I know, like, the thing is, like, having written music and having, like, you know, been doing that kind of stuff for a long time, like, I know exactly what that feels like. It's this catharsis, like, cathartic thing where, like, you just, like, you're, like, vomiting music, and
that's
a
a great way of putting it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you're vomiting it. You're getting poison out of your system.
That's literally what it feels like.
Yeah,
And
it's like, and making...
watching him go through that is such an amazing experience for me, because, like, I understand it, and I'm, like, I'm happy that, like, he has that outlet, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Hobo Johnson, and
That was a fantastic one to start with, I gotta say.
he's a really, really cool dude.
Yeah.
And there's more I could show you, but I think those are my 4, like, favorites.
Yeah, I feel like now that I have that introduction, I feel like I'm definitely want to go.
And, like, listen to
You've totally sold me on wanting to dive deeper into this guy. And it's interesting because, like, and I think this is a good example of what you said before, because the idea behind the show is to showcase, you know, smaller artists who less people have heard of. And I feel like Hobo Johnson's probably going to be on the more well-known end of people that we talk about.
Yeah, and that was how I wanted to start this, so that at least, like, some people would know who he was, and
yeah,
I felt like it was a good first episode to kind of introduce.
No, I agree. I think it was a good idea, because not only that, but it's like, I mean, it clearly gave us a lot to talk about too. There's just so many facets to him.
Yeah, well, there's a few other bands that have a similar vibe to him that I do want to get into at some point. But that's a whole other thing, and I'm not going to tell you about it because you're not allowed to know.
Oh, damn it! Okay, we'll work with that over time.
Also, the one line in Romeo and Juliet where he says, "Dear Shakespeare, could you write a happy ending?" That line gets me. I have a list of, like, some.
Yeah, no, we have
really
like. Yeah, those of you guys who are watching the video, if you see us looking down, we have
a computer.
We got a laptop here with, like, a list of factoids that Sarah gathered beforehand. Interesting stuff, but
okay. I'm gonna go through the, like, quarantine playlist pretty quickly. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play little snippets of it for you, so you know what we're doing. The whole idea with these playlists are that I've just had a weird obsession for a while of making, like, really specific playlists. We're going to start off with, like, not very specific one, kind of mainstream, but, like, quarantine playlist.
Wait, we're going through a quarantine? Why do we need...
Wait, there's a pandemic? Wait, people are dying?
Wait, shit, there are round boys in the air? Yeah. No, yeah, I feel like this is... Yeah, you told me about this before, that you like to essentially... I think that the idea of curating playlists is, like, that's a common thing, but...
Yeah,
you've told me that
I don't
some
know,
of the ones
maybe
you've
I'm
told
not special.
No, but some of the ones you've told me about, like, like a quarantine playlist that like
That's pretty like normal.
yeah, I can see that. But some of the ones you've told me about, like that they're pretty specific
Yeah, and
vibes
I just
and
find
moods.
it funny. I just find them funny. Like, I find it really funny to, like, if I am ever in one of those situations, to be like, oh, I have a playlist that, like, fits this, and I could just play it. I don't know. It's also a thing with, like, I've always prided myself on, like, this is so stupid and, like, weird, but I've always prided myself on, like, knowing a lot of different types of music and, like, being able to DJ well when we're in groups of people, so like I know like what types of music people like, and then I can like based off of what like who's with us, I can play music that everybody's gonna like. And
Fuck yeah, my driving 55 to the middle of Wisconsin playlist.
yeah, exactly.
Not to be confused with the driving 52 through the middle of Wisconsin playlist.
Those are two different things.
No, you have to find the vibe that fits with the fits in with the mood you're looking at.
Okay. So the first one, obviously, is F2020, because, of course, you know this, right? Wait, you don't know this song? Oh my god,
I don't think I do, actually.
This song is a bop. I listen to this a lot.
December 31st, I grabbed a beer, threw it up, said 2020 is my year, bitches.
I'll just play through this.
And I honestly thought that was true until I gave this motherfucker like a month or two. This is getting kind of ridiculous at this point. Yo, my cat died and a global pandemic took over my life, and I put out some music that nobody liked, so I got really sad and bored at the same time. And that's why I'm like, low-key fuck 2020. Still sad, still ain't got no money.
It's a bop.
Low
So that one's
fuck
like
2020.
very obvious. And then the
yeah,
next
no, that's
one-
kind of on the nose, but
The next one is that song "Far Away" that I showed you in the car the other day.
yeah.
Since I kissed your face,
Jessie Reyes. I love Jessie Reyes so much.
you and I both committed no fuck.
That one's basically like a quarantine love song of like, oh, my lover's far away.
Yeah.
This one is.
Okay, Fly, that's the blood in the cut, girl.
I love K-Fly, yes. It's so cool.
Long nights, no peace. I feel like everybody's eyes on me. I can't sleep. I hope I stay awake. 'Cause I've been running all day. Long nights, no peace. I feel like everybody's eyes on me. I can't sleep.
So many different vibes you can capture of fuck everything sucks.
Yeah.
There's so many different like angles you could take that within music.
This is one of my other favorite bands called Bad Bad Hats, which we might do an episode on at some point because they're so cool. But this song, I don't really know why I put this in here. It just kind of like felt like it belonged.
Okay.
I just related to it when it comes to quarantine. I love their album cover too.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
neat.
simple, but it's cool. Oh, I know why I like this one, because when I'm going through with like school and stuff and like not being able to go to school, the chorus fits into that. You'll see.
Yeah. Even just like through the vibe alone, it's
The
very
vibe,
much
right?
just like
Relax.
very much relaxed and like a resigned like, okay,
Yeah.
guess this is what we're doing now. It's been like the theme song for 2020.
Really.
God, I could have kissed you.
This part is what I'm talking about. The whole like midway between the end and the start, I feel like everybody's kind of like, if you did have things you were working on, like you can't really do that right now.
Yeah, everything kind of just sort of. It's like how you can go for a fossil dig and you can just find all of like You can find the exact moment that the asteroid hit based on like this layer of ash that perfectly preserved everything that was going on. Well, you just thought I was talking about dinosaurs
I was
for
like,
no
why did
reason
you
in the
just
middle
start
of
talking
them.
about fossils?
Excuse me, dinosaurs are rad, okay? They are
Sean,
extraordinarily
you
cool.
can't keep shoving them into every conversation we have.
That
Dinosaurs
is-
aren't always relevant.
That's a state of mind that I really do not appreciate, and I think that... Yeah, why... No, that's my dinosaur. Don't give me... No, it's mine.
Okay.
See, that's
The next
my dinosaur
one,
plush.
The next one I just thought was kind of funny.
Okay.
Do you know this song? I think we're alone now.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're alone now. Yeah, I just thought it was funny. Escape Artist I also just think is funny because it's funny.
Get me out of here! If you're only listening to the audio, you should know that the dinosaur is having a fantastic time dancing.
Might be my best years are best in me. And what most called prime for me was the climb, and I'm just now recovering. I fell apart during the
That is what it is. I just want to read some of the lyrics to you. He says, I'm questioning what's been testing me. Might be my best years have bested me. And what most call prime for me was decline, and I'm just now recovering. I fell apart during the middle of the month. On the 15th day, my roots came up, and so the ides in spring caused themselves to cling to every chamber left beating. I just think it's like, I don't know, like I've been questioning what's been testing me, and it's like I feel like, I don't know, like these are the years that we're supposed to be like, I don't know, doing stuff with our lives, and like we can't.
Yeah. Happy best years of our lives, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Now, I appreciate the curation of this. This is
God.
very much
Okay, I'm just gonna play through a couple of them. Do you know this song? Why Can't I Touch It? Okay.
by the Buzzcocks. No.
It's like a really old song.
Back from the day where you could call your band the Buzzcocks.
Okay, and then this one.
well, it seems so real. I can see it. And it seems so real. I can feel it. And it seems so real. I can taste it. And it seems so real. I can hear it. So why can't I touch it? So why can't I touch it? But then it looks so real.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a separation one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a few like quarantine love songs on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that many songs. It's like 8 songs. But yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
No, that was a cute little list there, and that was like,
I had fun making that.
yeah. Is that one like? Have you listened to that one much?
Yeah, a little bit actually. The biggest playlists that I contribute to are my night drive playlists. I have a very big obsession with driving at night and having
That's
a
a-
good song on.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
like, I feel like that's as far as playlists go. I
That's
feel
essential.
like that's one of those ones that everyone thinks that they're cool and unique for having that, but then
No.
everybody has
Those
one.
are essential.
Yeah,
You
like
gotta have those.
just because night driving is such like an incredibly well-defined vibe. Too.
Yeah, it
Because,
absolutely is.
Like quarantine, you can take that in a million different directions. Like
I won't deny that everybody has a night drive playlist, and I'm not special for that. However, I do think mine is the best.
okay, I will. Maybe
no.
we could look at that in the future then.
And and that one's way too big. There's like 1,000 songs on that one. And then my other one that I contribute to a lot is 60s vibes and just a regular like plain feel good music. And then another one that's just a feels one. That's just a bunch of sad music when I need to cry. Those are the main ones that I use like daily. The rest of like the weird.
I use my
like,
crying playlist daily. It's very
I do.
it's very, very handy to have.
The like weird like niche ones that I have, I don't use very often.
Yeah, but still
I
good to have.
I do enjoy making them.
Yeah.
I find it fun.
As soon as you pass the 54 mile per hour marker in the middle of Wisconsin, you need to kick in the tunes properly.
All right. I'm gonna go through the history thing pretty quick because it's the least interesting out of all these things.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Robert Johnson. He was a 1930s blues musician. When he was 19, he went to a juke joint.
What is a juke joint?
I have no idea. It's like where people played blues music, I guess. Sunhouse and Willie Brown were playing, who are like two really like famous blues musicians.
I've heard of Willie Brown before.
Yeah. He tried to play guitar for the crowd between their sets, and he sounded really awful, and everyone like booed him off stage. So he goes MIA for a year, no one can find him, and he shows back up to another gig at the same place that House and Brown were playing at again. And he walks in and plays a guitar with a 7th string. And he starts playing, and everyone's like so blown away because his guitar, like the way he plays, it sounds like he's playing piano. And they like, no one can understand how he got this good in just a year. And he quickly is seen as like the most talented guitarist in the Delta. And basically the entire town decides that he must have made a deal with the devil. And they're like, that's what happened.
I would have thought that 1930s Delta, Louisiana would have been a little bit more open-minded than that.
So open-minded. But they're like, no. Like, he left for a year, he hung out with the devil, and he came back with a guitar with a 7th string. Everything about this is wrong.
Yeah.
And,
okay, really, really quick. Interjection to this. Did you hear that Nickelback, like a couple weeks ago, they released a cover of The Devil Went Down to Georgia?
No, I didn't. I don't really pay attention to Nickelback news, to be honest.
Neither do I, but I still heard about it, and the crazy thing is it actually kind of works.
Does it?
It's actually not bad. But, yeah, no, it's, but anyway, yeah, so you got Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
They think he made a deal with the devil because he's just way too good at
you
them
also have to
plucking
understand
these
that
strings.
in the 1930s, people thought that blues music was tied to Satanism, the same way that in the 60s they thought rock music was.
Well, yeah, obviously, because it came from those, came from certain groups that people in 1930s Delta, Louisiana weren't such fans of.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, so the whole time gets convinced that he made a deal with the devil, and that's how he got so good. In fact, like, the true story is far less interesting, but basically he spent 3 years, not one. Like, the story is that he disappeared for 1 year. No, he spent 3 years training under Ike Zimmerman. Though there is a possibility that they summoned something. Zimmerman would take Johnson to graveyards at night and play to the tombstones and departed spirits. So, like, listen, I'm not going to deny they may have summoned Satan.
Like,
they may have.
I'm not saying we tried to. I'm
it
saying
is a little
look,
weird that they went to a cemetery at midnight and played to the departed spirits.
Look, his door was right there. I'm not saying we were the ones that opened it. I'm just saying that, like, we orchestrated a scenario where, yeah, may have been a little bit easier than average for Satan to show up. But, like, I don't know.
He's also part of the 27 Club.
That's
so then there's this
unfortunate.
whole weird thing about his about his death. That's also like a weird mystery. Historians aren't even really sure where his grave is. They debate over 3 different locations where he may have died. The history about Robert Johnson's life is very interesting and very convoluted, and no one fully knows what actually happened. There's like 10 different versions of his life. But so the most common story is that he was poisoned by the husband of a woman he was having an affair with.
Like
Basically,
you do.
he was a player, and like he would, he was married at some point, I think, actually, but he loved hitting on women that were married. For some reason, this was just like a kink of his. Like, he was super into it. And he got away with it because he was the greatest guitar player in, like, the Delta. Like, he was great.
I mean, he was a rock star.
He was a rock star, yeah. He was a blues star.
You wanted to steal your girl.
But it caught up
People
with him
watching
eventually.
this live will get where that's from. That's a thing. But go on.
Yeah, I caught up with him eventually, and we don't even know if this is what actually happened. There's a chance that he just, like, drank himself to death or, like, had a heart attack. But the most common story is that he was poisoned by the husband of a woman he was having an affair with.
Well, it seems like the entire, like, Delta kind of conspired to turn this guy's life into an allegory. So,
Yeah,
or
basically.
for something. I don't even know what it's an allegory for, but it's an allegory for something.
Satanism.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's that. I appreciate you listening to my spiel.
Yeah, no, this was really cool. Especially, like, I'm just so fascinated with the Hobo Johnson. I'm definitely very interested.
I'm really glad you liked him.
Yeah,
Really
I definitely am going to take a look at that second album because I'm very curious as to what a version of him that isn't depressing sounds like. And that's not to say I didn't like the depression. Like, was a fantastic feature of it.
But
I want to hear a broader scope of what this guy's capable of.
Yeah, I mean, we can listen to one real quick to close out the episode if you want.
Yeah, what the heck? Let's do it.
What the heck?
What the heck? Let's do it.
I'll play one of his fun ones.
One of his fun ones?
Yeah.
Okay. What's it called?
Ode to Justin Bieber. I'm not going to put on the lyrics for this one because it's not... Oh, this is a lyric video.
This is going to be lovely.
Let me
Feature credits. That's interesting.
just connect it to my phone.
Like we're saying, we're trying to get the asynchronous thing. We're to have an asynchronous thing. Hopefully that won't happen again next time. We'll be able to just split headphones from the same computer.
I mean, truthfully, this isn't that annoying.
No, it's not. It's just...
The problem with splitting the headphones is that I'll get the right side of the music and you'll get the left side. That's what it does.
I thought if you put a splitter in there, it could...
It'll still be stereo. It's really annoying.
Oh, that's annoying.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll figure out
we might be able to use an interface or something.
Here, you guys listening are getting a live behind-the-scenes look into our our technical
worst comes to
background
worst,
here.
we get an interface and we run it all through the interface.
We'll figure that out. Yeah, and again, like before we do this, this is our first time, and this is something new that we're trying. So, if you guys have any suggestions whatsoever as to how we can improve this in the future, we'd absolutely love to hear it because we want.
And also, like, what channel you would rather this be on? Like, would they rather it be on a separate channel? Would you? I don't know.
Or on the main channel? Yeah, we'll figure out where the best place to upload it.
Yeah.
But
would you want us to do it live? Like, let us know.
Yeah. Any feedback whatsoever you guys have, just give it to us, and we'll be happy to listen because this is something that we definitely want to do more of.
Yeah.
So
this was fun. Okay,
all right,
I'm going to give you two options. You can either do You and the Cockroach, which isn't really a song, and it's just a commentary on how much he doesn't like Trump. And then there's Hobo Johnson Ode to Justin Bieber, where he's singing to Justin Bieber.
You know what? I think let's leave with a good taste in our mouth. Let's listen to the Ode to Justin Bieber.
Okay, you got it. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Here we go.
And...
I like this animation.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. I want the whole world to love you. I think it's pretty bad for my life and relationships. Sometimes I walk into public and instantly think that the public doesn't like me. Shit, I don't really know what I'm off, but I do know that I want a little more of your attention, your love. Just look me in the eyes. I try to make you. 2 DUIs, 7,000 for the state. If I don't blow up, then I'm going back for minimum wage. So just smile, yo. Please smile. Look at me in the eyes.
Hold it for a while.
I want the whole to love you. Kill all the pop stars, replace them with wholesome adults. And I'm getting better at being better and being nice to my friends or whatever. It's really, really weird to have the whole world judge you. Justin Bieber never even got a fair fucking shake. If you buy your mama house when you're 13, you gon' be fucked up mentally, you know? I'm really, really sorry that nobody understands. And then we treat you like that. I'm really, really sorry that nobody understands. We're all really mean and dumb to you. And we shouldn't be following you around all the time. That's pretty fucked up, dude. And I just want to say to you that none of these dudes even understand. Neither me too. None of these dudes even understand. Neither me too. None of these dudes even understand. Neither me too. None of these dudes even understand. Neither me too. And I just want to say to you that none of these dudes even understand.
You are so fucking wrong, Frank. Not about wanting people to love you and then they do, but then they judge you so your whole life falls apart. But you are wrong about Justin Bieber. Let me explain.
Wait. It's really, really weird to live your whole life on TV. When I was eating Frosted Flakes, you were fucking singing great.
You made a song and my mom even loved it. I made a song and everybody said, fuck it. It's really, really weird to throw an egg at your neighbor. I threw rocks and no one even cared.
When you were on the front page of TMZ,
I would walk home and just go to sleep.
it's really, really weird. I'm tired of trying really, really hard to get the whole world to like me.
It's kind of fucked up. I've been crying lately. I want to wipe the tears with that Grammy, baby.
It's really, really weird, but I really respect you for not strangling all the press that press you.
I would go insane and just stay in my bedroom. We're gonna show up to your house and protect you.
I'm really sorry that nobody understands. And then we treat you like that. I'm really, really sorry.
This animation is making it.
It's cool, right?
We shouldn't be following you around all the time. That's pretty fucked up, dude. And I just want to say to you that none of these dudes even understand. Neither me too. None of these dudes even understand. Neither me too. None of these dudes even understand. Neither me too. None of these dudes even understand. Neither me too. And I just want to say to you that none of these dudes even understand.
I need like a lighter.
Yeah.
My friends are counting on me, and I hope that they're right. That I could really help them with the rest of their life. I'm not sure if they should see me for the guy that I am. Just that indecisive kid who really wants to be friends. And my family's counting on me, and I'm glad that they are. Cause I can help them keep all their houses and cars. I came a long way from sleeping in my car by the park.
Said the thing.
And taking fucking shits in the field in the
Oh,
dark.
yeah.
But when the lights
You had to do
turn
that.
on, well, I still feel the same as
At least
I
he did it in
used
the
to.
dark.
I think you said that you wish that none of this ever happened. But I don't blame you.
You'll always leave a hole in my heart and memories in my mind to discover. All of the dreams we had will never be over.
There we
Good to end
go.
on a happy one.
Yeah, that was.
It's also
and-
kind of like where he is now, you know, like this is him talking about how hard it is to be famous.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a cool place to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very much. It's. I can see how that would be an evolution from where he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely want to listen to the rest of that. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for doing this. I'm glad
Thank you
that
for
we.
listening.
Oh,
This was fun.
Yeah, this was awesome. So yeah, this will be going up, and see what people think of it, and looking forward to your guys' feedback. And if you have any suggestions for artists that you want us to cover in the future, then feel free to leave those in the comment section below.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you for watching.
yeah, for sure.
Listening to me ramble.
Yeah, for sure. Rambling is good. All right. New videos will be coming out soon, and I'll see you guys then, I guess. Take care. Bye.